and see a lot more public-friendly information than you would in Realist. You're going to be able to see actual mortgage rates. You're going to be able to actually see homeowner information and everybody that resides in this property. Okay? For you to be able to hopefully maybe get from title or escrow or somebody their phone number, email address, and their social media. Okay? So, how we access Remine, we go to MLS, we go to the links tab, we click on Remine. Now we continue to Remine. And now we're going to see a map. Now on the map, we're going to see these nice little lovely blue dots all over the screen. And all we need to do is be able to click on a dot and be able to see that property's information. And actually, let me choose one that's a little bit down below. There we go. We're going to see maybe the Google Street View, the property address, single family, bedroom, bathroom, square footage, estimated value, estimated net equity, and who owns it.
Cool.
Not doing anything. All right? Now, what was that?
So there's no debt in there. It's all equity, right?
Not necessarily. We're going to find those. We're going to look at these filters over here to the left to look at this neighborhood a little bit differently. Now, before we start applying filters, maybe we need to type in a zip code or an address to a particular property or type in a particular city. So, maybe we're looking at, oh, I don't know, whoops, Newport Beach, if I can spell.
Why don't you do it here, Westminster?
Westminster? Okay, I'll go over here, Westminster.
Fire on top.
Yeah, you want to see real information.
Yeah, you want to see real information. Okay. So now in order to see those dots, we just have to zoom in on a neighborhood just a little bit.
What was that blue press? What was that blue press? Yeah.
Where do you see that? Help direct me. Where do you want me to go?
Go down.
Go
Around
down
the
a
park,
little bit?
around the Mossville Park is fine.
Go up, all the way. Put it up.
Yeah.
Right up here?
No.
Where?
Push it up.
Push it up?
No.
The other way.
The other way.
The other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus. I saw more. More. Up more.
Up.
No.
No, the other way.
Yeah,
There we go. Midway City.
All right,
Midway, there you go.
There we go. All right.
Little Saigon is a city.
Yeah, go to Little Saigon.
Where's the little Saigon at?
Down the right.
Bottom right.
Down bottom
To your
right. Where's my right?
To your right.
Right
There you go.
there. Little Saigon. All right.
That's on the map.
We're gonna go to Little Saigon.
Okay, just
Now,
pick something there.
is this commercial or is this residential area?
Residential.
Commercial.
All right, hold on. Let's see here. I should see the little red
Maybe you
dots.
delete the zip code and use it.
Next time you don't do it.
No,
I'll give you
well, what it
5
should do
minutes.
is I should be right now pulling up the little blue dots all over the screen. And let's see here. They should be coming up for me.
Because the zip code is still there. Maybe you delete that.
There we go.
Hey.
There we go.
What
Yay.
house is that? The house?
All right, so we got the little blue dots all over the place, right?
639 properties.
639 properties, that's because that's all that's on my map. But now, we're going to be able to apply certain filters. We're going to ignore the star because that means that we're going to track properties. But instead what we're going to do is that we can, if we're door knocking a neighborhood, and by the way, anybody here actually door knocking neighborhoods?
No.
One person? You know what door knocking is?
Yeah.
What's door knocking, young lady?
You knock on people's door.
Yeah,
You knock on people's door. That's right. Now, wouldn't it be nice to know what properties in your neighborhood that you're about to door knock are actually already listed? We can come over here to the MLS tab, filter, and say, show me the active homes that are currently in my neighborhood.
See?
So now guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to eliminate those off my list. Okay? I can look at active, under contract, pending, canceled, closed, hold, you know, everything like that, except for canceled and expired. If it's canceled and it's expired, it's considered off market. So any property that's not listed here that you see, basically the blue dots, are off market properties.
Available
It's
to-
available for us to go and see.
To knock door.
Knock those doors. Now, besides this filter, maybe we look at or want to look at the homes that are in this area that may be an Airbnb. So,
See?
I can click on the Airbnb and I see that there is one property up here that's $220 probably per night.
$46.
$46 per night. That's not bad either.
That's
It's
a
kind
room.
of well. Think about it. If they're maybe if this is a house that they're renting per week, per day, whatever for $220, that means what? They're probably an absentee owner.
Yes.
Which, if they're an absentee owner,
People sell.
would they be an investor looking for other properties to
Bye.
make passive income for?
Yes.
It's funny, I was at an office that was in Huntington Beach that told me up and down, it's illegal here in Huntington Beach to have Airbnbs, no way in heck. Is anybody listing their property under Airbnb? I clicked on that filter, 5 homes popped up in Huntington Beach. And they all went, what? I'm like, well, they may not think it's illegal because they're doing it. But here, your marketing to maybe that person will be a little bit differently than everybody else in the neighborhood. Now, besides the Airbnb, we've got last sales price. Now, last sales price says that this was the home, the price of the home at the time that the person bought it. Now, maybe I look at this neighborhood and I see that everybody in this neighborhood, or in the MLS, homes in this neighborhood are going from $750,000 to $850,000. Now, if I click on the last sales price and I say, Mindy, can you click the $250,000 to $500,000 range? Now I see what homes in this neighborhood were bought between $250,000 to $500,000. Well, if I look in the MLS and I see that the homes in this neighborhood are going between $750,000 and $850,000, what do they have? Equity. Am I going to market to these properties a bit differently than everybody else in the neighborhood? Guaranteed. Right? What am I going to probably push? You probably have equity in your home and you don't realize it. If you bought your home between $250,000 to $500,000, and I can tell you that we can probably get anywhere from $750,000 to $800,000, would you be happy? Here, all you need to do is you pick a filter, hit apply. And now everything else goes away. Now, Mindy, if you wouldn't mind going back to that last one, and then, oh, I'm sorry, at the top here, and delete it, hit that X. Now, besides the last price, we've also got mortgage rate. So, how many people do you think in this neighborhood are paying probably more than 6% mortgage? You probably think everybody probably refied back at last year when rates were under 4. Here, if we click on mortgage rate and now say 6+, here are the homes in that neighborhood that are paying more than 6% in their mortgage. Now, how could I market to them? Maybe I take my lender specialist with me on my appointments. Maybe we go to these homes and knock on their door and say, by any chance, did you miss out on the refi? Was there a particular reason? How can I help you get from underneath this high mortgage rate into something that's a little bit more affordable? Whether selling a house or hooking you up with somebody that can actually help you get in a better financial situation. I don't care if I list this home or not, I'm going to provide them a service that they don't have access to now or didn't think about. Because how many of you think about refining? Probably missed out. You didn't think about it. You're like, oh, maybe I should have refied 2 or 3 years ago. Or maybe some of these homes can't. Different ways to think. All right. Next one, ownership time. Here, how long people have owned the property. So maybe if I click on 15 and 20 years, so I can say I want to see the homes that are in the area that have been owned for more than 15 years in this neighborhood, I will be able to see them. And maybe as I apply multiple filters, I start to narrow down my map just a bit further.
Yeah, still 19 only.
Still 19 only, but hey, out of 1,000 or 639, 19 of these I'm going to try to market to the people that have owned their home the longest. And if they've owned the home the longest, what are they? Probably the older couples,
Old money.
old money, empty nesters, trying to get out of this house. Maybe they need to think about downsizing. Right? Kind of nice. And here Mindy has applied multiple different filters to be able to customize this. Now, Mindy, if you'll close those out, please. The next filter real quickly, how long they've paid their mortgage. Now here's going to be a real fun one.
Mortgage age.
Mortgage age, let's look for those people that have no mortgage whatsoever.
Oh my god.
No mortgage, what does it mean? No mortgage.
250.
They have no mortgage. They own the property outright.
Vietnamese people.
Now, let's have a little fun with this one. Everybody got excited about that, right? Because what's that? Pure equity, right?
Vietnamese have a lot of money here.
Now, Mindy, can we go to that last sales price? No, the last sales price, and say 250 to 500 again. Yep. And now apply. There are 20 homes that have no mortgage at all, and they bought it back for $250,000 to $500,000.
Yeah, over here.
So now, what does that mean? Pure
Money.
equity. My marketing plan to these 20 homes will say, if you have no mortgage and you feel the need to get out of this property and into another property because you need to downsize, don't think that you don't have any money. Why don't we talk today? Give you a free home evaluation. Do whatever to get in front of these properties. I love how everybody got super excited about seeing this map light up that nobody has a mortgage. That doesn't bode well for you, right? You want them to have mortgages, right? Let's think about getting them out of this house and into another house and get a mortgage.
Cash out, buy more.
Exactly, cash out, buy more. So let's close these two filters again, please. All right, next one, if we scroll down just a bit, sell score. Now, sell score, this is a big one. In the past, this used to be rated between months. Who was ready to list now? Between now and 6 months from now, 7 to 12, 13 to 24, and 24 and beyond. Now, they've changed that around to say high, low, and medium. Now, a sales score is looked at in several ways. One, anything that these homeowners or people that reside in the house are posting on their social media. They look at anything that's been registered at the county, like death, marriage, births, things like that, buying habits. They look at all these algorithms, refinancing, what have you. So what they look at is any life-changing event going on in this household's life. So a high sales score in this neighborhood are people that are more than likely ready to list now to 6 months from now. Here, if she applies just the high sales score to this neighborhood, here are 30 homes ready to list between now and 6 months from now. So are you just going to mail somebody marketing? Which, by the way, mail marketing in a neighborhood has a turnover ratio between 1 year and 18 months. A year and a half.
Mail or door now?
Mailing.
Just mail.
So just mailing alone, which a lot of agents just do, before they see any fruition to their marketing, just from that, a year to 18 months. Anybody here want to wait a whole year to a year and a half before they even see any money? No, right? You will need to have money now. So if you happen to notice that in your neighborhood that you're walking around, or should be walking around, there are 30 homes thinking about ready to list between now and 6 months, what should you do? Knock on that door. Hi, how you doing, Miss Mindy? Are you going through a major life-changing event? Maybe you're going through a divorce. Maybe you got pregnant. Maybe that you might need to sell this house and upgrade. Or you got kids.
She shut the door. She shut the door and kick you out.
That's right. She might, but maybe she'd be a little bit more prompted to listen to what I've got to say. Right? Because if I don't wait for somebody else to come and get this house, I am going to be more proactive to try to get this house. Okay? Besides the sales score, we've got land usage like residential, commercial, things like that. That might help some of you with trying to understand the differences in certain neighborhoods. You also got building types. Like here we've got building types like single family, condo, townhome, multi-units, this, that, and the other. And again, not bad for commercial. Okay? So, after you apply whatever filter, oh, and by the way, let's look at all cash buyers. People who have bought these homes all cash. Which is kind of super nice. So here are 2 homes that are ready to list now that have bought their homes all cash. So maybe I will go and door knock their particular area.
Will you mind?
That's scary.
Is that somebody's house?
Hey, check the phone number. See this.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll get there. We'll get there.
The next
All
one,
right.
baby, Mindy.
So, now, what do I do after I find all these properties, right? I find this home. Well, the big thing that we're going to do is that once we pull up our number with Remine for free, you can track up to 100 homes at a time. Okay? That means that I take this 600 plus neighborhood, I've narrowed it down to about 100 homes. From there, what I'm going to do is come over to the top right corner here and click on Track All. So track all these little blue dots that I've selected. Now, what do I do with this? If I go over to the top where it says Track on the gray line, I'm going to have my list of the 30 plus homes that I am tracking. Here I get to see the property address, that it's currently off or on market, what the status is, its APN number, the owner's information, estimated value, estimated equity, bedroom, bathroom, square footage, lot size, and their sales score. Now, what do I do with these? Two things that we're going to do. One, I'm going to select all. When I select all, one of my choices here is to create mailing labels. So, if we want to mail out information, we can come over here to the mailing labels button, click on it, please. From here, we can say we want the property owner information or say current resident. Maybe some of those homeowners are absentee. Here I can say instead of mailing the property address, I want to mail it to the mailing address. And of course, down below underneath that, I get to pick the Avery mailing label format. Now, here, whatever format I get to pick, and I go to print, Word, or Pages is going to open up, depending if I'm on a PC or a Mac. Now, before I just print out the property, or these mailing labels, because I don't want to have to make these same mailing labels over and over again, I'm going to save that as a document on my computer. That way I can untrack these 30 plus homes and refresh my 100 mailing label list. Unlike Realist gives you 5,000 mailing labels each and every month. Here, I am unlimited. I can make 10,000 mailing labels in 1 month. All I'm going to do is make out different mailing labels for my different neighborhoods. Now, second thing that we're going to do here with this list. Anybody here use a CRM?
Yes.
What's a CRM, Mindy? It's Chime, right?
Yeah.
Anybody here using Chime? Two. Rest of you? How do you keep track of your leads? Anybody here do keep track of your leads?
Notebook.
Killing me. Traditionally a notebook, but the whole point of a CRM, a contact retention management system, is to be able to keep up and keep in contact with current, past, and future clients. What we can do here with these information selected, we can now come over here and create a CSV or an Excel spreadsheet file, which now most CRMs will allow you to import a CVS or CSV or an Excel spreadsheet into that CRM. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say download these properties. I'm going to create a name like Westminster Cash. Right? Perfect. Now I'm going to say, oh, and it can't contain space. There we go. And hit save. Now here in a couple of seconds, it'll come up and say, we'll notify you when it's ready. When it comes ready, it'll have a little blurb. I can click on it. Excel's going to open up. Now, anybody here used to Excel or numbers?
Yeah.
What is it? It's just a spreadsheet. With the spreadsheet, I'm going to see all this information, plus I'm going to see more. Like, there's a column that says absentee, yes or no.
Yeah.
Maybe I say, you know what, I'm going to create two spreadsheets, one for absentees and one not. So, duplicate the spreadsheet, take out the no's, keep in the yeses, and modify those rows. Now, no matter what, I'm going to import them into my CRM. Now I'm going to start them up on mailing drip campaigns, contact management drip campaigns for my neighborhoods. So it's a way of being able to efficiently, electronically keep up with your neighborhoods. Okay? All right, let's go back to Discover, please. All right, any questions so far? Everybody mind blown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. We're done for today. No. All right, so as an example, we want to look at one of these properties. Mindy, if we can click on this property that was bought all cash. Just on, oh, there we go. So here, we click on the address. Now we're going to open up the tax information about this property. Right away, we're going to see where it's at on Google Maps, see the Google Street View of the property. If we scroll down just a little bit, please. We're going to see bedroom, bathroom, address, estimated values. Here we got the public record information. By the way, the public record information shows you the tax year, the tax bill, their total. So we got that already. Way better than Realist. We also get to see some of the key stats, like if it's owner occupied or not. So now I know that Remine does have a paid service to have a filter that says show me the absentees, but I don't need to pay for it because I'm already being given the information. If at the top, if we scroll right up real quick, super quickly, a little bit more, a little bit higher. Oh no, it should be right under here. Where's the owner? Ah, if the owner was an absentee owner, right underneath their name would say in big bold red letters, absentee. Okay? Mindy, if we can go back to Discover real quick, because I want to show some other fun stuff here on a property that's probably got a loan. If we can click on one of these, please. And then let's scroll down just a tad. A little bit more. Here we go. Active mortgage. So right away, I get to see their mortgage, what interest they're paying on the mortgage, what type of mortgage it is, who the lender is, and their estimated payment. If this property had a second or a third, I'm going to see right underneath this, which it does, it's got a second active mortgage. So if we can scroll down just a little bit more, so they're paying 3.3 or 3.4 in their first, and they're paying 4.3 in their second. What's their total mortgage rate? Over 7%. By the way, their second mortgage is a HELOC loan at $87,000 from their lender of School First Financial. And of course, their estimated payments are an extra $430 on top of their $22,000.
Wow, that's scary.
That's scary, yeah. Very scary.
Way better than Realist.
How accurate this one is?
Pretty darn accurate.
Very accurate.
Updated every 2 weeks, just like Realist is.
Wow.
You say privacy?
There's no such thing. Now, here's where we get to have a little fun. Based on these mortgages, we look at the net equity. So we see here now that the estimated value, short of us going into the MLS, that their estimated value based on other properties in the neighborhood plus estimations, $644. Plus their current loan balance of $519 gives them around a net equity of $125.
No, I agree.
You can use
Now,
this for listing presentation.
Great for a listing presentation.
We know everything.
You know everything. By the way, this is available to the public. Anybody can go on to OC tax collectors. Anybody can pull up any tax information or public information about everybody's home.
But not the mortgage.
You can almost find out the mortgage based on certain things. Like what we did, that's all considered public data. But if we're talking about actual loan documents, only we as agents and title should be able to get those. But yeah, you can at least talk about that. How would you talk about surprising somebody? Did you know you had a second and a third mortgage on your house?
Crazy.
Right?
Did we know?
Now, if we scroll down a little bit further here, we've got schools. Now we've got schools. Here we've got what grades, what their ratings are, their type, and when that was done. And of course here the valuation. This is how they came up with the $644. You look at 3 entities. First American Loan, Zillow estimate, which this is why we take it with a grain of salt, right? And of course ePraisal.com. based on these 3 different evaluations or estimated values, this is where they got the estimated value. Okay? If we come down a little bit further, we've got the demographics of the household, who resides, the age range in the household. We come down below their head of household. Do they have children? Yes or no? And then, of course, we come down a little bit further and look at the property history. Now here, we get to see the interfamily trust. We get to see the grant deed. We get to see when they took out the loan, what type of loan it was, this, that, and the other, and that's down below in the mortgages. So here we get to see that on 4/19 of 17, they took out a HELOC loan at this company. They also got a loan back in 2016 for 452 at this. There was also a loan in 2012 at that, throughout the whole thing. And so, look, we even get to see refis. It's amazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
We come down a little bit further. Now this is where
This is crazy.
this is where it gets even crazier. Down below, this is everybody that resides in the property.
Oh, my God.
Anybody over the age of 18, this is their information.
Let's check window.
Now, we've got the owner, the buy scores, this, that, and the other. Now, this is where Remine's going to want to charge you for a one-time fee for this house of $3. I will get each and every one phone number, email address, and social media for $3.
Wow.
If there were 6 people in here, I would get each of those for a one-time fee for this household or for this house, $3. Now, most of this information you're either going to get already, maybe from title, maybe at a more affordable cost, or maybe you're using a background check software. Anybody here using that to double check to make sure the clients that you're about to meet are who they say they are? Anybody doing anything like that?
Star 69.
Besides star 69?
Nexus.
Next, maybe. There's software out there that allows you to do a background check, which will give you their email address, their phone number, and their social media. I think there's software out there, it ranges anywhere from $20 to $50 per month, but it's unlimited. So now what I have access, if I'm using software like this, I have access to everybody's name in this house. I've got all that information practically for free. Or I go to my title, like there's one title company that I know of that charges 25 cents per person.
Yeah.
So in this case, it'd be 75 cents for all 3 people. Just depends on who you're working with. Anybody like that?
Woo.
Anybody ready to market now? Yes? Yes, ma'am.
If you do want to have a big campaign, you can subscribe to Remine
Mm-hmm.
and be a pro so that you can have unlimited access to all phone and email of all the data.
How much is that per month?
The regular is $199, but they have a promotion for $100.
That's not bad.
For $100 from unlimited data.
Which,
And besides, there's gonna be unlock these things because right now you are just a starter account. You got locked by property value, home equity, sales score, flood zone,
the flood zone's nice. That's also in the
Absentee.
property records too, by the way.
absentee, and then distress.
The distressed one I think would be good if you're looking for distressed properties. Though I don't know of too many people that are in distress right now. You might know something a little different,
Yeah, it's on the
but
rise.
it's on the rise. Gosh darn it.
So
But at least you can look at
but
that.
this is free without the phone number.
Yeah.
But if you want a phone number, $3 per property.
It's
No
not
matter
bad
what
either.
property, yeah, it's not bad. $3 per property. But if you want a big campaign, you can pay $100 to get unlimited if you have big campaign.
A year?
That's $100 a month. So $1,200 a year.
Cheap, man.
But if you think about it, if you're spending $1,200 a year to be able to have all this information, to be able to market what you need to market, one commission should more than pay for this.
Yes.
Especially if you make it succeed, right? And I don't know of anybody in here that won't make this succeed.
Some account they do have social network of that person.
Mm-hmm.
They go into LinkedIn, Facebook of that person.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the idea behind target marketing is now instead of you marketing 639 homes where you throw up mud up against the wall and hopefully some of it sticks, you now with this tool can shoot that market and hit that bullseye almost every time, or hopefully every time. This is what you guys should be doing, especially nowadays with the market that is now coming into its balance, right? Where now people are trying to say it's no longer a seller's market, right? Somebody just throw up the home and can charge anything. Now we've actually got to work and should be working. Somebody that comes to this neighborhood or walks through that neighborhood and talks to a seller, and the seller goes, well, what makes you different from somebody else? How do you know you can get me a buyer for my home? Well, if you, with all these stats, you tell me you can't target buyers on a Facebook post or a targeted ad that are qualified buyers to be able to afford this home quickly and easily? I think everybody's on social media here, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I know you guys are doing selfies, right? The selfie promotion? Look, we've got an absentee owner right here.
Absentee. And then the address is over here, people.
Oh, did you log into yours, Mindy?
No,
Oh.
I just checked the property. The property is in Straight Place, Westminster, but the mailing address is in Bosac. So the owner is investor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is absentee. This is probably,
A good time to look at them.
Mhm.
And your marketing to an absentee will probably something
Yeah,
along the lines of,
Oh,
are you tired of renting toilets and want to sell this home? Or
Is that you? Thu Heng.
No.
you've owned this home for a year.
Go ahead, investment LLC.
Oh,
It's him.
found you,
You.
Dave.
That's my name.
Is that you?
We found you.
You change one letter at the end.
Clear.
You want to sell your house, Jay?
I
Yeah, you want to sell your house?
That, or do you want to invest in another one?
I knocked the door right
We
there.
got some people in this neighborhood that looking to list now. Maybe you want to start
Yeah,
rent control
yeah,
in this
I-
Well,
neighborhood.
they recently sell it in March 18.
Yeah.
The seller is another,
Different guy.
guy thing for whatever, and then sell to the LLC. Well, that's 675,000.
Yeah, it's couple
Which is
of
great.
houses away from my house.
Oh.
It's my neighbor.
Oh
Like
my
3
God.
months
Oh.
ago, they got that.
Now she discovered something.
So you should market your neighborhood, get that absentee owner
Yeah.
information, and now say what other homes do you want to invest in.
Track them, Dave.
Start tracking them,
On social
right?
media.
Who doesn't like passive income? One
Do we
person?
do we talk about engage yet?
Engage. No, we haven't. Engage is good. So those homes that we tracked. So in case, for whatever reason, you don't want to ever untrack any homes. What the Engage tool does is it notifies you anytime any of the homes that you're tracking, something changes about it. What I mean by that, maybe the sales score changes. Maybe you're tracking 50 homes in this neighborhood that they all have low sales scores. But then all of a sudden something comes along and something changes about their life. You're send a push notification. The person's sales score has gone from low to high. What are you going to do? You're going to now maybe reach out to that particular person or that home and find out what's going on.
Do you have an idea how do they calculate the self score?
So because of all the tracking that they do, social media posts, buying habits, things that are recorded on at the county records. So like maybe Mindy and I are getting ready to go through a divorce. She files for divorce at the county. Our home comes up as a sales score high because we're both getting ready to go through a life-changing event. Somebody door knocks. Mindy, are you going through a life-changing event? Divorce, death, marriage, baby, whatever. And she goes, well, how funny. My husband and I just filed for divorce.
Well, Vietnamese,
How do you know?
Vietnamese store.
How do you know my
How do I know?
my personal information?
Hey, I'm just a Boy Scout just trying to get to know the neighborhood. I'm asking everybody, are they going through something that's majorly life-changing that they might think about wanting to sell? Because it's a good time to sell. Now I can get in the door and have a good conversation and maybe become the listing agent for both this husband and wife situation. Okay? Maybe she's just now getting married because, hey, they're now happily married. She's owned this property, but she's not sure what to do with this because, hey, The husband doesn't want to live with her at this house, but she doesn't want to live at his house. They both might need to sell both of them to be able to get their incomes or their home joint together. That's a major life-changing event. Not to mention, Mindy's a social media whiz. She's on social media 24/7, and she's talking about how happy she is about just getting married. This is what they track.
Tony, when you knock the door, right, and then is it legal to ask them some kind of question like that? Very private.
Why not? You're trying to strike up a conversation. I meet you at a bar. What's your name? Is that legal? Sure enough.
No,
What's going on in your life?
Okay, but when you knock the door, somebody.
Why not?
They open.
Why not? They open up the door. They want to talk.
You take a rest. You take a rest. I'm from Pakistan. You have to know how to strike a
You want to be able to.
Open the door yourself, okay? It's not-
Don't open the door yourself. Yeah, that's breaking and entering. Hopefully, Mindy will answer the door when I knock on it. But at least at that point, I should be prepared to be able to talk to her, to have an intelligent conversation about maybe getting in to be able to evaluate the home, to sit down and go over some sort of quick listing presentation, to maybe convince her or get her to think about even more to maybe want to list. If her home comes up as a high sales score, thinking about it, wanting to maybe do it, does she want to wait 6 months from now when it's a good time to sell now? My talking and my conversation with her needs to be, it's a good time to list now versus later. If you wait later, you might be at the bottom end of the market when things are starting to go down because interest rates are too high. This is why you guys should be very plugged into your business right now. Interest rates are on the rise, home prices are on the rise. What needs to give in order for somebody to afford a home today? Are home prices needing to come down? Are people's incomes going to go up? This, that, and the other. These are all nice conversations to have. But we need to have a conversation. When it comes to marketing, we need to be able to sit down and talk with people, not sales pitch. Too many agents out there sales pitch. Anybody here just sales pitch? And if you don't know you are, you might be. Sit down with each other at the office and practice. Tell me what this sounds like when we talk to each other like this. And give each other their honest opinions. Or go home, torture your spouse. That's why they're your spouse, your significant other, right? They're meant to be tortured, right?
Meant to be tortured.
They're meant to be tortured. That's why you're in the business. I want to practice my scripts. I want to practice my speech to you. And now, the more you practice it, the more at ease you will be. By the way, the other engagement tools, if that listing that you were tracking gets listed on the MLS, you'll be notified about it. Now you can untrack it and remove it. If the mortgage rates change, maybe they got refied, maybe they took out a second or a third mortgage. Again, part of the engagement. Grant deed changed, absentee status. Mindy owns a house. Now she decides she's buying another one, so now she's become an absentee owner because she's moved in with her husband at his house. Maybe I need to ask her, would she like to buy another investment property? Square footage, they get something reassessed, they add on, adds value to the home. And of course, distressed. Mindy reneges on her property, they now file a notice of default. There we go, we are now notified about it. Anybody like those? Good.
What I want to tell everyone is I'm calling this is a stocking system. You can stock the seller, see, cater to whatever you can market to your neighborhood or wherever you want to. It's very
For sure.
good.
For sure. People will think that you're a stalker, but you're not. You're just trying to be helpful, right? If you're going through a major life-changing event, how can I help you better your situation? Do you think you might need to sell? If so, let's go in and make sure that this is a right option for you. If it's not, be honest and say, this is not a good situation that you should sell. Maybe you should talk to my lender, maybe you refinance and get from under 7% mortgage to something that's a little bit more affordable for you. I want to look out for your best needs. Too many agents out there just think about the dollar for their pocket. What they forget is that because we are building a relationship, we're building an everlasting client. Because maybe I don't get him, but maybe I get somebody else that he can refer to me. Because I've helped him or her or both. Okay? Because anybody doing that now? Helping their clients?
Yeah.
Getting referrals? Talking to referrals? Great referral base. Okay? Oh, can I show you one other thing? Can we go back under Discover? And let's go back into that property. Now, this is going to be really, really super scary. We're going to go all the way down. And we're going to look at these clients, or these potential clients. Now, you'll notice that their names are in blue. Now, we notice that there are an owner, absentee owner of this property. But if I click on this person's name, Remine will show me every property that they've ever resided at, either owned or had resided.
Beautiful, huh?
Right there. So, you're talking about a stalker mentality.
This is the point.
Now I can look at all these homes and maybe see if they are an owner of this home currently or were at some point, or possibly a renter.
Associated with that address.
They were associated with this address at some point in time in their life.
How far back would you go?
I think I've gone back 5 or 6 years.
Out of state also?
No, not out of state. Not that I've discovered.
You are dangerous.
This gets a little scary, but at least you get to see that. And what's super cool about that is that when you click on their name, and it looks like both of them are the same person,
Yeah.
that if you click on that address, maybe I see that owner. Hey, I see that this home is a little bit more favorable. Maybe I reach out to that person instead of this person. But at least you made a lead through a person. Just out of curiosity. Are there any questions on any of this? Have I stumped everybody today? Excellent. That's my job.
Crazy.
All right. Thank you all very much. And I think this is the first time I've ever been finished before 4 o'clock.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
Track.
Tony,
Track Kevin Wings.
Tony Wing.
So here, this one was canceled. This one was canceled. Off market, off market. More properties.
You're right there.
Apartment.
Yeah. So the apartments, I don't know why you can't look at that one, but it should give you that tax information.
Maybe it's all too old.
Maybe.
Oh, Tony, this one can see you with the 4 unit down, or even like 6 unit. If they have 6 units, they can figure out.
It should give me
Commercial.
everything listed and unlisted, residential and commercial. If it didn't give you the commercial, I don't understand why, because I have pulled up commercial properties in here before. But I think you get a lot more details from the residential than you do the commercial. Now, what's the other one? Like Laguna Woods, co-ops. Co-ops don't have tax records, so you won't, if you look in a neighborhood, you might not find any. Even though it's outlined, they're probably co-ops.
Let's share with them about the ethic.
Ethics class.
Yes.
Okay, so,
I requested the ethic class to be here so everyone don't have to go online or go everywhere to take it. So who's gonna help?
so I'm gonna help you guys try to offer ethics here at your office. So what you wanna do is send your name over to Mindy, okay, saying that you wanna attend that class. It's a 2.5-hour class. We're gonna work out a date and a time for you guys to have that class hosted here at your office. That way you make the DRE rules of 2-year update of your code of ethics. Now, if you renewed your license this year, you do not need to go through this class. All you need to do, notify Mindy, who will notify me that you updated or went through your license update this year and or last year, which would have included a code of ethics class. And we can get that applied to your DRE requirement, okay? So look for those emails. Definitely come here. Again, it's 2.5 hours long. It'll be hosted by either Vivian Vanderweerd, who's our Pro Standards professional, or one of our Pro Standards mediators like Pam Pedigo of Regency Real Estate, or we're going to try to get the Education Committee Chair from CAR Educational Committee. Oh, that is Pam. That is Pam Pedigo. So we'll get one of those two people out here to give you training that day.
And it's free for Ocar member.
It is free for Ocar members.
If EWR, $25. So, you know, if you guys Ocar, you got good, free. We don't need to go online, do it at home, boring, or, you know, at the wherever.
Oh, and there's no test.
Oh, no, thanks.
You need to
Whereas
be
if
done
you go
by
online,
December
you have to do
31st.
the 2.5 hour course plus a test.